everyone, and welcome back to the Colour Cave, where we like to play with art stuff. My name is Jem, and of course we are back with Colin Thompson's colouring book today, but there's a slight twist to this. We talked a little bit before, there was rumblings in the comments, and also a little bit of chat in the last video about the new Inktense colours, which just happen to be rolling our way right now. Derwent brought out a set of 28 new colours to their Derwent Inktense pencil range, bringing the entire range up to 100 pencils. But I thought what would be fun today is to use these exclusively to try and finish off the doors on this right hand page, so up to here, just so that we can try them out, get to know them a little bit, and also get on our way to completing this right hand page. Before I started filming, I did swatch these out really quickly. This was just a scrap piece of watercolour paper that I had lying about, just to give me an idea of what they look like. And I've made some comparisons. So this isn't obviously not going to be a comprehensive review of these 28 pencils or anything like it. That's already been done on YouTube. There's plenty of other people. Colour with Claire, if I can find the link to that, I will put it down in the description and you can go and check out a really thorough review from a reliable source. Yeah, so there was a few things I noticed straight away. There are quite a lot of similar colours. I don't think these 28 colours that have been added are unique, and I'm just going to show you those really quickly before we get into colouring our page. I actually took a note of them because I did this a couple of days ago, and as you all know, I've got a brain like a sieve, so I thought I'd better write it down while I remembered. So the first thing I've got here is the lemon yellow, which is this colour here. Looks remarkably like sun yellow, which is this colour here. There is not a lot of difference between these two. And I did try and look at them in the dry sense. So this is the right hand side as well as the activated sense. The sun yellow is a little bit deeper, but it's negligible. And when it's in amongst a whole load of other colours, you know, in an artwork or a colouring page, it's not that noticeable. So we could have done without that one. The golden sun, which is this one here, this seems to be a hybrid of the Sicilian yellow and the sienna gold. It seems to sit like in the middle of these two. And for me personally, this one, and this one, they're all very much of a muchness. And again, I think we could do without them, personally speaking. Next was the mango, which you can see here is this sort of yellowish orange colour, and that is very similar to the cadmium orange, and I reckon you could probably dilute out the cadmium orange enough to get the same sort of shade. Like, they are different, but the difference is so slight, it's hardly worth it, you know, it's negligible. Thistle was the other one that struck me as well. Thistle is a colour, obviously the thistle is a flower of Scotland, so that kind of, you know, sticks with me a wee bit. When I swatched out the sugar plum here, the sugar plum is basically a better version of thistle. It's just got a bit more depth to it, but again, they are almost the same colour. The violet in this set here, which is the one down in this bottom corner, and the violet blue are so similar. That could be the same pencil. It could actually be the same pencil. Bearing in mind that this paper is a slight like off-white colour compared to the brilliant white, those two are they're the same. They are the same. So a bit of a wasted opportunity there as well. Mineral blue and dark aquamarine. Again, this is more of a similarity rather than, oh, this looks like the same pencil. But if I just show you them here, there's the mineral blue next to the dark aquamarine. They're so similar. They're so similar. The sea breeze looks quite samey there as well, but this has got much more green in it, and that's much more apparent. When you see it next to the green aquamarine, the sea breeze is probably in between the dark and the green aquamarines, you know, it would belong in there. But this mineral blue and the dark aquamarine seem to be really, really close together as well. And this is another example as well where I feel like the next colour is like a washed out version of one we've already got. This mint leaf colour, which I really like this is nice because when you dilute it out, it gives you quite a delicate shade, although it's still quite vibrant. But when you see it next to the vivid green here at the edge, again, super similar. Maybe slightly more greenish here, but again, negligible, especially if you're going to dilute it out. And the last one is the dark mink colour. Again, I think this is quite a handy colour. I like having colours like this. But if I show you it next to bark, which is over on this page here, I just lift up this little flap here. If I show you that side by side there, Again, like super similar. I think the bark is maybe slightly darker, slightly deeper, but yeah, so similar. So anyway, that was just like very quick observations. I would love to know if any of you have these pencils or were considering buying these pencils, and whether or not me showing you that is going to sway your decision, or whether you agree, whether you found other colours that are similar. I say this was really just a whistle stop before we went into the actual colouring. So I'm going to put the big swatch book away today. It's going to have a holiday along with the original set of Derwent pencils, and we're just going to have our 28 colours here. We did have a bit of an issue with the violet blue. I dropped it in the kitchen, and my kitchen is a stone floor. So I don't know if that's going to last, though. I don't know the answer to that. But you can see our violet blue is considerably shorter. And that's just one of those things. It was entirely my fault. And you know, that way it was like, oh no. It was just a hand spasm. Fell out my hand. Ugh, yeah. We'll live. So note to self, don't take new pencils into the kitchen. Jem is not allowed to hold new pencils in the kitchen. Right, so here we are. Then we're going to work down in this bottom corner. I've got my usual water brushes here. These are the Kuretake Zig H2O brushes. In the UK, they're really easy to get in this pack of 4, but you can buy them individually, and they're reasonably well priced as well for most people. So let's use the little colour chart. Thank you as well for those of you that gave input on the hinges situation. MJ Pete did suggest black for you know, the realistic and practical implications, but I feel because there's so much darkness in around, I feel like black would just kind of get lost. So I think we will have to go for something shiny, although I haven't decided what yet. I would just like to get the doors coloured. I'm desperate to put this mint somewhere, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to get the mint out. Because we have like these books here. In this bookcase, there seems to be, it looks like encyclopedia volumes, you know, because there's a couple like bunched together that are the same, and that kind of repeats. So, you know, that reminds me of like the old Encyclopedia Britannicas. They're like a dark red colour, or, you know, like a dark blue colour, something like that. I'm not really sure where my mint door is. I think it might be this one here. I wanted a door with less shading and hatching on it, because this is quite a light colour and it's quite a delicate colour. The hatching there that Colin has will be the shading, you know, it will shade it automatically. I'm not going to work with the pencil to do that in a colour like this. A mint door, how exciting. Yeah, so next thing then, just while we're chuntering away here, a little Jock update for you. Had his stitches out, everything went fine. I barely batted an eyelid. It was a lovely lady vet we saw. The vet that did his surgery is male, and Jock actually quite likes him, which is, he's usually more wary of males than females. But anyway, the lady that we saw was lovely, and she was telling us that she has a collie cross that's just had elbow surgery, so quite a similar surgery to the knee surgery, just on the front limb rather than a hind limb, and that she understands our struggle perfectly of trying to keep Jock still. So that was really nice. And the other thing that Jock does is when he's actually in like the examination room, he kind of gets a bit nervous and tenses up. And he, bearing in mind he's 10, he has never taken a treat from a vet in the examination room until the other day. And this lovely lady vet offered him a biscuit, and he took it and he ate it. So that was a first. So he's obviously quite relaxed and had taken quite a shine to her. So that was really nice as well, because we always worry when he gets stressed out, it makes his skin flare up. Some of you know that Jock's got an itchy skin condition, and we usually find that it's like a latency. So it's like a day after he's been to the vets, his skin all flares up and he's red raw, and that did not happen this time either. So we very much like the lady vet, and we're going to ask for it again. Which they let you do sometimes if they're not too busy. Okay, I'm looking at this. I'm assuming this is a gent's toilet door, because it's got the little vacancy wheel on it. You know, when you twist it, it says occupied. And it's obviously got a little man with a hat on here, which might be this little man. What colour will we make a bathroom door? Maybe like a blue colour, that might be quite appropriate. The dark cerulean, this had rolled off the table, which is why it isn't in sequence, you know, with the rest of the blues. I think that's maybe a wee bit too dark. Again, this is like a lighter door. Let's try the lapis blue. We'll make our little man shiny. I think that would be a good idea too. If I run out of time today, if I don't get through all these doors today, I'm just going to finish these off in my spare time, because I really want to move on. I'm aware that, well, this is going to be like part 5, and we've still got most of this page to do as well. So what I'm going to do with that is I am going to do the framework in my spare time. in the next part we'll do all the shiny stuff here, and we'll try and make a start on this side, and that should maybe only take us maybe 2 more parts and we will be done, because I'm really keen to get on to our third choice. If you remember way back, or if you weren't part of it, we had a vote on what colouring pages we were going to do, and we decided we would just do all of them because everything, you know, the voting was quite even and everyone was quite enthusiastic. So the next thing we're going to do is a Kirby Rosanna's page, and it's penguins, and that's a double page spread as well. So the way things are going, that's going to take us up to literally the middle of the year. So we mapped out 6 months worth of colouring for ourselves. But much as I know you like the double pages and everything, I don't like the series to go on too long because people do lose interest and the views tail off a little bit as well. So we need to keep it moving, keep it fresh. But when you've got something with this level of detail, you can only go so quickly. Okay, it looks as if we've got a little gradient going on here. Oh, look. We could make these ones turquoise. Oh, that would be perfect. Okay, so maybe we need to go into Sea Breeze and Mineral Blue, and we can make this one Malibu. See, there we go. Now, these aren't technically doors. These are drawers. These are drawers. They're not doors. Yeah, okay, so let's have this one. Yeah, I'm going to make this one Mineral Blue. I think the Mineral Blue and the Malibu side by side might look like the same colour, but that's okay as well. And then we'll make that one... the Sea Breeze, right? Okay, yeah, let's do that. Why not? Cheeky little drawer. I wonder what's in that drawer. I wonder what would be kept in that drawer. I bet you if you opened that drawer, a little pair of eyes would be popping out looking at you. Popped out to say hello. Like, ooh. So yeah, anyway, Jock's doing really well. Insane when I say he's doing really well, as in he's healing very well. The vet was very happy with his progress. But he is getting super bored now of being confined, and he is also convinced that there's absolutely nothing wrong with his knee. Now, we are only at 2.5 weeks out of potentially 14 to 16 weeks of recovery time, so this is not good. And he is now starting to try and run on his leg anytime he's got any sort of space. If you open one door, he will try, and we're like, no. So that's becoming a problem, to the point where there's been a couple of times where I've actually walked him through the house on a lead, and he doesn't understand why. He's also tried to jump up on the sofa as well, which I tried to catch him mid-air. I was like, obviously by the time he's mid-air it's too late because he's launched off his surgery leg. So that didn't go so well either. But we are trying our hardest, and the vet basically said to us, she said, like, don't beat yourself up about it, just do the best you can. And again, she understands because... she has a dog, but a collie with the same sort of tendencies, and she's going through the same thing, and she's like, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to do your best. I was like, okay, that makes me feel better. So yeah, so we've got another 1.5 weeks, and then he is allowed out for very short WALKs. I can't say the word because he's right there, and but it's literally 5 minutes on a lead. Which for Jock is not a WALK at all, but it's better than nothing. But he's allowed that twice a day, so I'm looking forward to just being able to take him OUT of the house, because I think he's getting quite cabin feverish, and being allowed out into the garden isn't exactly any sort of compromise. Look how bright this colour is, it's obscene. So there's that. So that's a wee bit of something to look forward to, but that will remain like that for 6 weeks. I wish I could just explain to him that although his knee feels better, like, he has to take his time. I just wish I could get that across to him. That would make my life much easier, but what can you do? I'm going to leave this to dry, and I want to go back in with the pencil just a little bit at the edges of some of these boards, because it looks quite sort of hodgepodge and ramshackle, that door. So I just want to sort of accentuate some of those shadows a little bit. But you see there, I've got quite a nice little accidental gradient going down there from my purples. Meow. That was fun. I have this colour Olivine, and I like this. This is like my kind of green. I want to have these panels in here quite deep and dark. So I'm going to do a couple of layers of pencil, and then I'm going to activate them and let that dry. And then I'm just going to put a very light layer on, like, round the actual framework, round the panels, so that there's real contrast, even though it's going to be the same pencil. So sort of the inverse of what we've done up here with this green. But this is a lovely colour. This is really nice. I actually like it just as a pencil, you know, dry. But then again, I'm one of these people that tells everyone you can never have too many greens. And I suppose that could be true of any colour if you're really into it and you use it a lot. I always feel, you know, just even talking about the similarities in these 28 pencils to the rest of the Inktense set, I always feel it's a waste with the yellows because the range of colour that the human eye can see is very limited when it comes to naturally lighter colours, aka yellow. And I just feel as if you need to stop, as long as you've got a warm yellow and a cool yellow, and then maybe the same but like into orangey yellows, that's kind of all you need, especially when they're water soluble and you can dilute them out to be paler than they are. Like, I wouldn't be wasting a lot of energy on the yellows personally because I wouldn't have a use for them, and it's, unless you are the person that has done it, it's very, very difficult to pick up with the naked eye unless you're specifically looking for it. So that's just my opinion though. And I just feel like energy could be put into other colours like greens or purples and pinks. Like, you can have an endless combination of purples and pinks. And the other thing that I always find missing, which isn't as relevant with the Inktense pencils, but like a putty colour, like a biscuity beigey putty colour. That's very useful to mix with lots of other colours, and yet a lot of pencil sets are lacking something like that. I really, really enjoy the putty beige in the Prismacolor set. That's a good example of the colour that I'm talking about. This dark mink, a lighter version of that, would also qualify as what I'm talking about. Just, you know, if that gives you a better image in your head of what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, for the Inktense pencils, I really wouldn't have expected a colour like that because that's not really what these pencils are all about. Right, get my little water brush on the go. See, it's such a nice colour. It's such a nice colour. Okay, so we'll leave that to dry a wee bit before we go back and do what I said. So let's move down in here. What about Pink Flamingo? This is a pretty colour. Look, it's a lot. Or maybe we could have, no, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to have Amethyst and we're going to use Sugar Plum for the door panels here. Yeah, I like that better. I really like this Sugar Plum colour. I really like the Thistle colour. There's just a nice, I don't know, there's just a nice depth to it because when you use a lot of pencil and just a little water, it gives you like quite a nice, deep, rich, more sort of reddish colour. But when you start to dilute it out, it kind of looks a bit more purpley. And I like that it's got that sort of duality to it. Even if it is only very discreet, you know, it's very slight, but it's just really nice. It's a pretty colour. I like it a lot. It's just such a nice colour. And if you were to go with a lot of layers of this, you can get, like, you know, a colour that's going to come out and slap you in the face kind of thing. You know, it's like, wowee! And I like that about it too. It can be delicate, but it can be very, very, very vibrant. And that's one of the really nice things about these pencils and about a lot of the colours in this Inktense set. Obviously, I've been using these pencils for a long time now as well, and I've gotten to know like the properties and the sort of nuances of them. And I really like them. I keep going on about them, I keep using them, so, you know, it must be good. Let's take Mink now while we're waiting for that to dry. Okay, I think what I'm going to do here is I am going to fill in the vertical boards on this door. I'm going to fill in the vertical boards on this door with pencil and activate it. So I'm going to lean quite hard. Use my littlest brush for this. Squeeze in. That's some teeny tiny gaps going on there. Even for my little brush. Good grief. And on these planks that are going diagonally across the way, I'm just going to put a tiny tickle of colour. Like just really to take the colour of the paper away because I think that'll stand out quite nicely. Okay, we're dry enough up here to go back to our, I don't know if it's Olivine or Olivine. Any thoughts on that in the comments would be appreciated. It's like there's another colour that always trips me up as well. In fact, there's one in this set. It's the colour is cerulean, dark cerulean, and it's that blue colour. I always want to say cerulean, like that's the way I read it when it's written down. And I don't know why that is. It's like, I don't know. Does anyone know the actual proper way to say it? Because I do like to pronounce things properly. I like to know. I like to try. You know, I want to say, do I want to say all? I don't even know what I want to say. Olivine. Yeah, because I would say like if something is of, you know, if it's doggy related, it's canine. And so this is olive related, so it's olivine. Yeah, olivine. And obviously vine as well is a good word to, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm going vine, olivine. There we go. Glad I've thought that through with you guys. Thanks for your help. Okay, really quick sweep with the water brush here, not hanging about. Just enough to activate that colour. Maybe leave some of my scribbles as well. because there's not a lot of pencil in the paper there. And I'll do this little door down here now as well. So amethyst on the outside, and kind of what I just did there with the Olivine, but obviously this is a slightly different colour to what's in the panels there. And those go really well together because the amethyst does look like a very delicate version of the, I was going to say thistle, it's not thistle sugar plum. Told you it's like thistle. Again, same technique here as well, and I like literally just tickle the paper and no more. I did just tickle it, like just very slightly. And then, there we go. So it does still look mink, but it's just very light mink. What about if we finish off this corner with a yellow as well, because we've got a yellow in the top corner and that side. I think that's a lovely idea. Let's do that. So I'm going to take Golden Sun, and I'm also going to take Mango. I'm going to put the Golden Sun all over everything. A light layer, but quite an even layer. And then I'm going to take the Mango and I'm going to run it down the side here and just across the top, just to add a bit of interest in that door frame. So I'm going to start with the water brush in the yellow section, and then I'm going to go into the Mango. So I am blending it in, but I'm not contaminating too much of the yellow with it. Okay, I'm going to go back here now, just with the pencil that I was using, which I do believe was the Sea Breeze. Just in between the planks there. I'm just going to put in a couple of lines, nothing crazy. That is all good. I'm happy with that. Oh, we're chuntering along now, guys. We're chuntering along. How long are we in? We're like 25 minutes in. Okay, that's pretty good going. We've got these planks here. Now, I've deliberately left I've got natural brown and the burnt umber. I think we're going to alternate these pencils. You know, do a plank at a time, a plank each. Plank about. So this is the natural brown. I'm reluctant to be too heavy-handed with the pencil here because the grain of the wood is showing on these planks. You know, Colin has put it in, and when you put a lot of pencil down, it disappears because it's really faint, because it's obviously it's grayscale. And I'm kind of like, well, I don't really want to colour it because then that's going to go away. And I like the delicateness of it. See, that colour's quite dark. I am going to lose all of the dagnammit. I'll try and leave a little bit of texture. I don't know if you heard that there. Jock just snored really loud, like he was snorting. He is upside down though, like he's proper upside down. I can see his meat and two veg hanging out. We've realised as well, like he has been snoring a lot, but I think it's the drugs that he's on are making it worse. He's a pretty good snorer in his own right most of the time, but it has been, you know, the very odd time that Mr. Jem and I sit and watch TV at night, we've had to like turn the volume up over his snoring. It's pretty bad. This is also quite a dark colour, so I want to go fairly easy. Just a little smidge in each plank. Put that in there. I was kind of hoping the weather would pick up today. It's very overcast. I'm getting really fed up with the weather. Like I want it to sort itself out. That's us, you know. I mean, we're into May now, so it's about time that it started to pick up a little bit. I still had to, you know, it was cold when I took Pip out this morning. Okay, with this umber, yes, I am going to split off these boards a bit more, just to like create like a shadow effect, as if there may be a slight overlap. Oh right, okay, onto our encyclopedias. The question is, do we do anything with the frame? I don't think we should, because it looks as if it's coloured in already. I think I might just want to leave that. I do want nice rich colours here, so I'm going to go for the violet blue first of all. I think that would be a really nice option. Now these books have labels, and I'm going to try and avoid the numbers. They are numbered 1 to 4. Excellent. Now I might colour some of the labels in. I might leave some of them. See, I feel as if the Olivine could be used in here again. You know, thinking about, because these look like old leather books. Maybe not the ones in between, but that's kind of like what they remind me of when I look at them. That's the first thing I think about. Let's have paprika. Just for a bit of funsies in there. We pop up a colour in between. Now the Persian red is an interesting colour as well. The pencils that I bought, which is the ones that are in my hands, they came from Cult Pens, and Cult Pens were doing an offer where if you bought the 28 pencils, you got a Derwent Pencil wrap with them. Like they came in a wrap. And I think it was like, I don't even think it was £50. Anyway, not that it matters. I just thought that would be a really nice wee set. And they arrived and the pop stud on the pencil wrap was broken. In fact, I've got it here. Yeah, so when I popped it open, the actual stud's completely out. It's off, it's knackered. So I got in touch with them and they just sent me out a new one straight away, which was really nice. Let's put some water down here. When I'm doing things like this, I always try and go with the grain of the book, you know. Because again, I think that if these were sort of leather-bound editions, they would obviously have a little bit of texture, which is great. And I think I'll go back in with that pencil as well, and again, just make, you know, put some shadows in. Now, I would like to use the gold colour here. I've got gold and golden sun. I think I would like to use the gold for the actual books because it's a bit more muted. So this set of books here. And I think I'll keep the golden sun for some of these labels, maybe. We'll see how that goes. I had an absolutely fabulous day on Saturday. Mr. Jem and I went out gallivanting on Saturday. We don't get the chance to do that very often. This is denim, this pencil. And we went out for a wee jolly. And I had the best day ever because I made lots of new doggy friends. If we are in an establishment somewhere and someone has a dog with them, I have to go over and ask if it's okay to pet the dog. Like, I can't not do it. You know the way some folk are with babies? I'm like that with dogs. And I made so many friends on Saturday. It was the best day ever. So I met a Jack Russell called Smudge, and she was a Jack Russell crossed with a Chihuahua. But very much Jack Russell, not much Chihuahua going on there, I don't think. And she was adorable, and it made me miss Woo a lot, like it really did. And Mr. Jem was like, had a little tear in his eye. I was like, oh no. She was lovely, so we talked to her. She was pretty, and we got to pet her. And I met a very golden coloured lab, and I never found out its name, but she brought me a toy, which was nice. She barked at me and then brought me a toy. And then we went to the pub, which is our local, it's the closest place for us to get a pint from our house. And there was a lady there and she had a Caucasian Shepherd. If you don't know what a Caucasian Shepherd looks like, it's huge and it's big and it's fluffy. And they're pretty chill dogs, but they're absolutely gigantic. And so I met one of those and her name was Evie. And she was adorable and she kept trying to give me a paw, but she might as well have been like punching me in the face. It's a bit like when Pip tries to cuddle you, she assaults you and she thinks that she's been a nice girl. So yeah, she's huge. She's only 2.5 and her owner was telling me that she's something outrageous, like 67 kilos. I'm just going to see what that is in pounds. I don't know. I can't convert that. That's too many kilos to convert into pounds in my head. Yeah, 67 kilos. So she's 148 pounds, give or take. So she's basically, she's 3 and a bit of like Jock. But she's adorable. Like she's super lovely. So yeah, I had the best day ever on Saturday. Like I really did. Right, okay, so we've got some grey colours here. We've got Storm Dust, which I prefer over the Asphalt colour. It's a bit smokier looking. See, we've got these shelves in between here, and I feel like they should be this colour, but I don't know if I can imitate that colour with these pencils. Because that was the deal, wasn't it? I was only using these pencils, huh? Let's make shot myself in the foot a little bit here. I'm going to take the one of the other greens as well. I've got a Jungle Green, it's quite a bright green to be fair. That's this one here. Yeah, so let's have these ones here. Wild Flame is like a vermilion colour. It's like halfway between orange and red. So we'll have a little bit of that in here as well. Those books look like they're part of the bookshelf. Oh no. The Mink looks okay though. I like that Mink colour because it's got a wee bit of warmth to it. That's good. This kind of reminds me, I'm sure you'll all have seen pictures of this kind of thing on Instagram or whatever. And it's people that organise their bookshelf by colour. You know, so they colour coordinate all the spines and go through the spectrum. I think it looks lovely, but I would never be able to find any books. I've got a lot of books. I have to be alphabetical by author or else it's just not going to work for me. But they look lovely and I would love to have a bookshelf like that, but no. It's just like, nah, nice thought, but not practical for me at all. Okay, I've changed my mind on the label thing. I'm going to alternate between Golden Sun and Lemon, so it's going to be very pale. And a lot of this, again, will be back to the old just taking away the white of the paper rather than trying to colour it in, so to speak. See, just by doing that, Just makes it a wee bit less boring. And with the darker one as well, that will give us a bit of variation. Yeah, let's do that. So let's do those ones. I'm not going to activate these with water here, that would be silly. Maybe a little bit heavier here. Oh yeah. See, the gold and the olivine colour goes really well together. That looks good. I like that. Like it a lot. Ho ho. Let's use asphalt and see if we can matchy a little bit, or at least darken them down to what that looks like. I will activate this with water as well. Yeah, that looks better already actually. Okay, yeah. See what it's like when it dries. That looks okay. That looks like it's meant to be like that. Here I want this to be one colour and then like a wooden, like natural wood colour over the top. So I think what I would like to do is I'm going to put the golden sundown there. Sundown, I didn't even mean that. And then I'm going to take one of the browns, so like the umber colour here, and maybe just do something like that. Now the trick is with this, just to make one sweep with your water brush, so make sure your water is flowing. Always in the back of my hand here, and then just woo, like that. So you're actually retaining what you've put down. It's still been activated, but only just and no more. Right, what colour do we want in the back of there? What about Nightshade, which is a really nice purple colour? Yeah. This one. Purple and yellow go well together. Again, we've got quite a lot of shading here, so let's put a layer down, see what it looks like, and if we want to add a bit more in the shadow areas, then we can. I'm just going to give that a wee minute to dry. A wee minute. We've got a cheeky wee door in here. Oh, that deserves a bright colour, and that is where the offensive lime green is going, so it stands out. This colour. Absolutely terrible. Oh, it's awful. Look at it. It's so awful. It's good. Oh. I was having a conversation the other day as well about people painting houses, and somebody told me that their neighbours painted their chimney orange and they absolutely detest it and want to go knock their door and tell them not to be so silly. And she said, it's a really offensive shade of orange. And of course I burst out laughing because this person has no idea that that's a phrase that I use. In fact, this person doesn't even know I've got a YouTube channel, let alone the fact that that's offensive is a thing. And I couldn't stop laughing, and she looked at me as if I was deranged. And I was like, forget it. It's only funny if you're, if you're there in the moment. And she was like, right, okay. I was like, yeah, okay. I was like, I totally sympathise and I can understand the type of orange that you're talking about. And she's like, oh, it's an abomination. So that was quite entertaining. I wonder what possessed someone to paint their chimney breast orange though. From what I've gathered, the rest of the house is a traditional colour. It's not as if it's like like a theme or anything, or it's like a multicoloured house. I think the house is just like white or cream or whatever, and this person's just taking a notion. Yeah, I could think of other things, like I could understand someone painting a door orange, or maybe like their garage door or around their windows or something, but the chimney, really? It's like, okay. Okay, I'm feeling another mink door, and I think I want it to be this one. I like the mink colour with the planks, and I think it breaks up some of the brighter colours a bit as well. Let's dark mink the door, this door. So I'm going to go all over with this on this door, and that's going to give me a minute to ponder because I'm not sure what I want to do with this one. And let's put extra in along here. I'm getting on really well just using the smallest water brush here. I did lift out all of them if I needed to cover larger areas or whatever, but I seem to be getting on okay with the little one. To be fair, in my last set, I did say it, and I think it was in the first video, that I'd switched them out. The reason I switched them out, it was my smallest brush that the ends were starting to fray, and I just decided to treat myself to a full pack of new ones, but it is because I use the smallest one most often. A lot of you know I do like a teeny tiny brush. Usually the smaller the bristled brush, the more comfortable I am with it, so it kind of stands to reason that that's what I'm kind of like sticking with here. I'm actually really happy with that door. Easily pleased, easily pleased. I feel like I want a bright colour to kind of balance this out on this side as well. We're almost through. I think we should maybe use the mango on its own because that's a nice bright colour. It's really cherry and it'll lift this grey a little bit. This one here. So let's go the whole door. This might just be a little bit too dark, it might be a bit too grey for this, but oh yeah, that's quite a bright colour. I kind of like it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, okay. Again, I think I want to do a little bit of work in the panel, so I'll leave that pencil there. And that just leaves this door here. With this one is joined on with this one, so I think we'll... I'm assuming that's the same door anyway. So it's a set of like double doors because there's hinges on both sides. So I'll leave that to decide depending on what's going on, you know, round about here on this side. We'll leave that one for next time. But down here, I kind of want to do to this one what I did up here because they look like very similar doors except this one's got a prisoner. So I'm going to take my gold pencil first of all, if I can find it again. This is the thing about not having these in a pencil case. I haven't decided what colour order they're going to go in, you know, to put them in the big pencil case yet. I've only had them, oh there it's there. So when they're all spread out on the table it feels as if a bit disorganised. Right, let's do the outer part first. So I'm going to go Olivine again. I know that's really boring guys, I'm sorry. It's no real surprise that I'm gravitating towards this pencil though because it is my favourite colour. Green is great. And I really like the mint leaf colour as well, although it is similar to the vivid green. I like it in its slightly more delicate incarnation. Very much, very much, very much. The jungle green, maybe not so much. It's a bit too kind of in your face. I'm sure it has its uses. But yes, I'm quite impressed with the green selection here. Okay, I'm going to use a slightly larger brush here. And I'm going to start in the lighter area. Because I don't want to pull down too much of the extra pigment there because that would give it a very uniform feel. And I want to keep this sort of grubby, uneven feeling, kind of like I did up there. I don't think I need to add any more pencil to it though once it's dry. I think that's going to do a really good job on its own. Look, because yeah, it looks really grubby and grotty and ugh. See in here, just while that's drying, just some flicky lines, like flick, flick, like this. Better. They're a bit obvious, aren't they? Yeah, I'm going to take the water brush. Just wait around it. But again, I'm going to go up the way, not down the way, because that would bring that really bright colour too far down. Yeah, that's better. That's just softened that up a little bit. Right, I'm cool with that. I'm happy with that. Right, Mango Door, how are you doing? So kind of the same thing here. Just putting in a little bit of colour. I tend to keep it uniform though. Like whatever I do in one panel, I tend to do it in all the panels. And it's just really thinking about things like light source. But obviously there's things, you know, if you want to kind of think outside the box a wee bit, maybe think about wear and tear on a door. Where is this door? What does it belong to? And a really good example of that is if you're ever in a restaurant where you can see the doors that go in and out the kitchen, quite often there's an indoor and an outdoor. And if you look at the door that goes into the kitchen, there will be a worn patch where people push the door open because they're normally swing doors. And a lot of the time that worn patch is a lot lower down than you would think. And it's because the staff have their hands full and they will open the door with their knee or their hip. Somebody who used to be a chef just notice stupid things like that. But you know, if you were going to get really creative and start making up stories about your doors here, that's the kind of thing you could take into consideration, and you wouldn't have a uniform, you know, effect on your doors. So if you fancy getting a little bit more creative, maybe you could try something like that. If anybody wants to show me their worn chef door, if they go down that route, I would love to see it. Tag me on Instagram or on Facebook. Okay guys, I think we're going to leave it there for today. I'm really glad we got around that side of the page. I really wanted to get this finished today, and you know, like I went as in the doors finished, and there we have it. So I think today's favourite doors are the mint door, the very small offensive lime green door, and the jail cell door, the grotty door. I think that's where I'm at with those. I would love to know what your favourite colour is from these new 28 pencils that have come from Derwent. I'm really glad that you came and joined me for this today. So in the next video, we will do all the fixtures and fittings. So we'll do all the shiny stuff on this page. And if we have time, we will move over into some of these doors. So I'll also have the framework done like I had here on this side for the next video as well. So maybe two, maybe three at a push more videos and we will be finished with this. I'm really excited about this one as well, but I'll take a little bit of time over that. I have decided that these pencils are, they're going to go into the big pencil case with the rest of the Inktense for sure. I do have space for them. So the Derwent wrap that I've got, the working one, not the broken one, I'm going to put it in the stash shop. I'm going to unroll this and show you what it's like inside. You've got lots of space for pencils in there, and you've got this little flap that keeps them all, you know, tucked, keeps your leads safe. And then there's extra spaces here that are bigger if you want to put erasers or, you know, pencil sharpeners or whatever in. So yeah, I'm going to put that up in the stash shop. Obviously, it's not had pencils in it because it didn't come with pencils in it because it was a replacement. So it is absolutely brand new. And I've also popped up a few smaller items in the stash shop this week as well. So if you want to check that out, the link to the shop is down in the description just underneath the video, so you can go and check that out and treat yourself if that's what you'd like to do. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you back in the cave on Sunday for another video. So have a great day, guys, and bye-bye for now.